Alright, now when we restore the third sigil, it's time for the last major of the four major areas.
So let's see.
It's time to go up. Go on, Jova.
So first we dealt with, well, a stone god. Then we dealt with a priestess. Then we dealt with the mother of all spiders. So what's next? Oh, I know, Capo.
dragon?
Wait. It's gonna be Capo, isn't it?
I have no idea who that is.
Basically, Dej, Capo is a Hawaiian goddess who has a flying detachable vagina.
Thankfully, Jova, not really, because we're dealing with pre-Columbian type of mythology, not Polynesian and Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna polite you to never talk about that whenever Terrence is around. Thank you.
Trust me, Dej, I know not to mention certain
Is he a
things around
native
him.
from the islands, Edge?
What?
Is he actually from Hawaii?
No. He's just a Hawaiian degenerate.
Okay.
I've seen the not safe for work page on Blue Zone Comms, I know. So,
anyway, set of level set in the sky. It's labeled sky, but it's more like a set of mountain levels with ice and stuff. You start getting more of these type of enemies, which are like flying seahorses, launcher dragons that fire projectiles in an arc. Otherwise, the challenge is pretty much the same, but here is where you will get the last set of power-ups that are tied to our character. We got most of them. We're only missing one major that will help us with mobility, so there is that.
So, for the most part, the level design here seems challenging but fair. That said, I will admit there are some sections that feel a little bit like, okay, you have to have the reflexes of Spider-Man or something in order to
Okay,
get them.
not necessary, Jova. Like I told you, the controls are perfectly tight, so even if you're going at fast speed, you can stop at any moment, and the momentum is just good enough for you to actually not slip through, you know, like say in a Sonic game
Oh, I get
accidentally.
that. What I mean is, like, well, there are some parts where, you know, like, well, the bullet hell stuff feels a little bit unfitting with the platforming. Like, there are some bits that are definitely bullet hell. And look.
I can also...
They're far and few between. Like I said, for the most part, it still seems nice and fair.
I can also tell that the ledge grabbing, you know, takes a bit to adjust to the actual height that you're supposed to go through. But it's not really a big of a deal. Again, you can easily learn these kind of controls in around 5 minutes, and the first level is a good, you know, gym in terms of you to train enough. It's a tutorial level, and you know, that just does its purpose.
Like, overall, I'd say the only
guys,
thing that feels borderline unfair is, as you mentioned, the lack of boss checkpoints given how the bosses are oriented.
No, that is legitimately thing that could have been fixed, and even the developers admitted it, so it is an objective issue. Yes, Dej?
If you guys want to play this on your PSN, you better do it now before.
Dej, to be fair, Dej, by the time we're making this public, yeah, it will still be in time, but yeah, this being digital, only if you wanna ever play it on PS3, you have a technically limited amount of time. But to be honest, you might as well get the Steam version, because this game runs pretty smoothly enough even on a Denki PC. And the game being on Steam means that it costs less already, and it gets on sale very frequently. Meaning that you have a better. Yes.
It's kind of a bit weird that, you know, Sony didn't bring this to, like, later digital markets anyway, seeing as how, you want to understand, this game is still relatively relevant anyway.
Honestly, that depends on Ubisoft. Remember, Joey, that depends on Ubisoft to begin with.
Despite being a Housemarque game, this is actually one of the ones he didn't make with Sony, so it's actually more Ubisoft.
But I agree that on port, on current type of system, including the Switch, it's easily doable. This type of game seems to be simple enough to be able to...
Yeah, it's $9.99 on Steam.
In fact, think about it. Isn't Rayman Origins still only on the 360 and PS? I don't think it was put on the PS4.
Yes.
Wii U.
Yep. No, Legends is on Wii U.
Legends was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive.
I don't think Origins is on the Wii U, is it?
Really?
No.
I could have sworn it was brought to the Wii U. Jesus.
Nope, I checked.
Ouch.
I kept that a track record.
It was released on the Wii, though.
Probably
There's
for
that,
good
though.
reason.
I know that. I know that. It's just that, you'd think, but
Bovary is a Steam version. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
They should make a new Rayman game.
you're little, as we say in my country, you're breaking open a door that was already cracked.
Dads, hey Dads, hey
That
Dads.
sounds like something Fran would tell me.
Hey Dads, as someone who's a fan of multiple Ubisoft franchises that may never see the light of day again for various reasons, I say good luck.
Evil 2.
And Skull and Bones.
Hey, we're getting a Rayman TV show, which I'm sure it's totally gonna get made.
Okay, look, even if that does get made, I'm waiting to see if it's actually good.
Honestly, again, remember, recently enough, Ubisoft actually did like a sort of a promo that, like, not even like not necessarily something meaningful, but more like Debian card style poster to celebrate one of its anniversaries. Not a specific game one, but I think like one of its properly generic anniversaries, and Rayman was nowhere near in the group.
You know what's sad?
You had the Tom Clancy stuff, Assassin's Creed, not even Prince of Persia was there. That is kind of depressing.
You know what's sad though? I think last year was Rayman's 25th anniversary.
Yeah, and they did nothing.
Oh no, they did something. They made a Rabbids mobile game.
Hey,
Brilliant.
folks, for those who don't know, Rabbids technically wouldn't be a thing without Rayman.
Yeah, and it was the fans who had to do something. Basically, a fan recently ported Rayman 1. So he did a Sonic-free AIR style of PC version that basically runs in a widescreen HD and all that good stuff, basically.
Again, okay, so here's the thing with Rabbids. Originally, Rabbids, I think they started off as sort of this random mook that you would see in some Rayman games before they blossomed.
No, they were meant to be the villains for
Yeah,
Rayman.
remember, the first Rayman Raving Rabbids was their actual introduction.
Right.
It was supposed to be Rayman 4, but it was like, okay, the Wii with motion controls, let's make it into a minigame collection instead of a platformer.
So, in a way, they're technically Rayman characters. Technically.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
Just
I don't remember.
that Rayman is in Mario plus Rabbids 2.
I don't remember if the GBA version of Raving Rabbids was a platformer or still a minigame collection. Okay.
For me, when I play Rayman Origins nowadays, I actually prefer playing it on the Wii, so it's fine by me because that with the Wii I can hack the game and do some cool stuff with it. So
it's funny. When Legends was first teased back in 2012, when Ubisoft was swearing by the Wii U, they did have a Rabbid prototype amiibo in Legends to show off the Wii U's NFC functionality, and it's like you have Rayman beating them up. And there are in that Rayman mobile game as obstacles, so...
I mean, wonderful for small
I don't hate
behaviors.
the rabbits.
Oh, no, look, I don't hate the rabbits either. There's actually a lot to like about them. But I do get why a lot of people hate them. Like, let me put it like this. Rabbits have essentially stolen the spotlight from Rayman in space. This would be like if the Goombas stole the spotlight from Mario in his own series. Like, yeah, Goombas...
Just wait until the Illumination movie.
I was gonna say it would be more like it's the breakout character stealing the spotlight. It's like when Wario first debuted, he became insanely popular, got a whole bunch of games on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Got 2 series. It's like, oh.
Here's the difference,
but it's like
though.
They didn't replace Mario.
Exactly. That is definitely the biggest problem with it. They essentially replaced Rayman, and I'd argue not even for a good reason. Sure, they were breakout characters, but more popular than Rayman? Not necessarily. No. It felt like Ubisoft going for, well, it may not have been known as the Minions formula at the time, but yeah, it was pretty much the Minions formula.
It was one of the early products of it. Anyway, new enemy type, the sorcerers. They do this kind of, first they teleport, but also they have these weird shockwave type of power. So again, jump and attack is the ideal recommended type of strategy here.
I'll just say this. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I'll just say this to you. I feel like one of the few cases where the minions friendly has turned out fine enough, aside from minions themselves, and well, until they kind of ruin that, are the serve bots from Mega Man Legends, because the serve
Mostly
bots...
because they didn't really show that in your face. They didn't like take an entire game on their own. They weren't like... They were mostly a harmless Easter egg there, and they didn't rely on stupidity for their type of comedy. Sure, sometimes some of them might have been clumsy and everything, but they had their personalities, you know, and they were the rebuttal towards Trombone's type of personality. There was an actual gimmick. Both the rabbits and the minions instead only rely on actual gibberish, doing very juvenile type of humor, and even slapstick to a certain degree, you know.
And they're both French.
Okay, and also generally looking, you know, having to look like stupid, and mostly to appease to a very young demographic.
Now,
That's
okay.
the major difference with that, Jova.
Now, to give the minions credit, when they first started off in Despicable Me, I totally got the popularity. Like, sure, yeah, they spoke in gibberish, but they felt like they had a personality outside of just speaking gibberish. The problem is that...
But they weren't the main focus. That's what made it better. Because you were still paying attention to Gru.
It's a similar thing with Mater. You see, like, Mater is fine in Cars 1 as just a comic relief psychic that shows up here and there. When you make him the main character in the second movie, it doesn't work. This was a character that was not made for this kind of purpose. It's stupid. Was stupid of John Lasseter to think that it would work.
Or she in Jimmy Neutron.
I was actually going to ask.
Let's not pretend this stuff hasn't always happened. Sometimes it works in its favor. Look at Frasier. He was just supposed to be a one-time character or a side character in Cheers. Became popular to the point where he was one of the main characters that got his own spin-off.
I will argue it's a bit different there because Frasier was always a multifaceted character in general. He wasn't just a comic relief doofus.
I'm just saying in general about the breakout character.
Like Popeye,
he originated from a different comic book.
Yeah, basically.
No, not Betty Boop, something else.
Well, okay. In the cartoons, sorry, I'm more familiar with the cartoons. Sorry. Yeah, in the comics, I don't know. In the comic, I don't know anything about that. But when it comes to the cartoons, the first appearance of Popeye in the cartoon was actually not in his own shorts. It was actually as a side character in a Betty Boop short. But then
Popeye cucked a guy out of his own series to the point where he even stole olive oil from him.
The 1940s were a very magical time, Edge.
Well, he didn't really cuck it. Just like it starts off with olive oil breaking up with that guy. It's like, oh, now it's all Popeye.
Whatever, but olive oil is the most fickle female character ever. So
pretty much.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But no, seriously. There's literally a short where, despite being already Popeye's girlfriend, she's literally reading a Superman comic book. Get it?
Fleischer Brothers.
No, it's because Paramount at the time was also doing the Superman shorts, so it was a reference to it. Yeah. But
that's the thing. I'm pretty sure Fleischer Brothers worked on both Popeye and the Superman cartoon back in the day.
Oh yeah. With Paramount being the distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, actually. Fun fact, actually. Back when Who Framed Roger Rabbit was in the making, one of the companies that was supposed to be in it, but sadly didn't get to be in it, was the Fleischer Brothers company. We would have gotten stuff like the old classic Superman showing up in there, in addition to Popeye characters.
We were robbed.
Then.
Well,
I guess potential. Maybe it was like the one occasions where striking a deal for copyright reasons did not work out.
Yeah, deals kind of fell through. Like, something here and there.
Okay, even with the fact that back then the mindset was between companies was not to be these rival rules as it is now. I get the idea that we're still a bit, it still was kind of a miracle the way to get all the licenses for the same spot.
Hey, look. I consider it a miracle that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is still watchable on Disney Plus, given everything in it.
Oh, I get the idea that Disney is just allowing it to be there by paying the necessary royalties. Anyway, new power-up time. If I recall correctly, it's our last one tied to mobility.
Energy Shield.
Oh, actually, no, it's not that. This energy shield, basically, if you find yourself in a situations where you have too many projectiles towards you and you can't switch quickly, this move absorbs quickly all the bullets and then release a shockwave attack. It does there you go. It does consumes a bit of your special meter, if I recall correctly, but it's perfect to actually get yourself out from particular nasty situations. Go on, Pedro.
Trying to find. I don't know if it's been cancelled since then, but there was a period where Disney was in talks with God, what's his name? The director.
The director of.
Roger Rabbit.
Robert Zemeckis.
That's it, Robert Zemeckis. Was in talk with Robert Zemeckis about making a sequel to Roger Rabbit. So maybe them still being able to play royalties probably because they're still trying to see if they can get that made or not.
I'll admit, it could be interesting. Fun fact, actually, originally Eddie Murphy was supposed to be the star of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But,
As in Detective Valiant.
yes, but he sort of turned it down because he wasn't into that sort of stuff. He thought he wouldn't be good for his career. Oh, the irony.
Whoops. And then he did meet Dave. Whoops.
I mean, that was years later, but yeah. I
I
mean,
know, but still.
honestly,
Fine. A better comparison is Will Smith rejecting Neo for Matrix and doing Wild Wild West.
I mean, okay, again, your perspective on that may vary with how you view the Matrix franchise, because sure, yeah, it was definitely big at first, but then eventually it came crashing through hard.
Well,
Again,
it still defined the career of Keanu Reeves. Remember, most people back then knew him mostly for a very sorry, Dad.
Bill and Ted.
That and Johnny Mnemonic, which but not many people watched him for a good reason.
that's the thing, though, Tio, is like, well, while he was awesome at first, he then became a joke in a lot of people's eyes because of, well, how terrible Matrix 2 and 3 were.
I wouldn't say that. It was more like he was just in a lot of mid movies.
Well, again, Dad, here's the thing. The thing he was remembered for at the most at the time was The Matrix, which, yeah, okay, some people did find awesome, but then later people would more so joke about his monotone acting or how he doesn't really have that much of a soul or yada yada yada, or quote-unquote, I am Jesus, without really having that much to prove for it here and there. Like, that's the thing. Neo is a guy with promise in the first Matrix film. Then he disappoints a lot in the sequels, especially 2, where he pretty much dooms mankind just so he can get laid, and oh, she ends up dying anyway in the third film. So,
I mean, can you blame him wouldn't you sacrifice mankind to get laid?
well, I don't know. It depends on the woman in question, and you know, the woman in question was a loaf of bread. Let's be honest.
Okay, let's say if it was Mia Fey.
He's thinking about it.
Okay.
Look, Jova, it's the Matrix. You literally can have your wife if you want to.
That actually is a good point. Well, but don't you see, Tio? It's all about true love and who's really there and yada yada yada.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's because I'm Italian, but I'm mostly siding with Joe Pantoliano. If a steak actually tastes good, it's enough for me.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. Can I take it?
Sure.
Mateo, it's Joe Pantoliano. You should not believe his lies.
Eh?
Well, yeah, you know, I actually do kind of feel a little bad for Joe Pantoliano, actually,
What happened?
because after he did the Matrix, the following year, okay, yeah, there was Memento, but there was also Ready to Rumble.
Ooh, I'm
Sorry?
guessing that was bad.
Okay, put it this way, guys. The company that was behind it at the time, WCW, were not doing very well. That film did not help. And then 2 years later, he was in Pluto Nash.
Wait, is he Courtney Cox's ex-husband?
Pantoliano.
Yeah, because you mentioned WCW. Is he the one that won the world championship that everyone hated?
No, he played in that film. He played he played pretty much the Eric Bischoff type character, which is interesting because originally that was supposed to be Eric Bischoff playing a version of himself, but he got fired from WCW.
So who is he in Pluto Nash?
He played one of the main villains as henchman.
Oh. So was it as good as Triple H and Blade
Trinity.
Wait, it's called
It's
Blade.
Blade
Honestly,
Trinity.
I think Triple H got the better end of the deal.
I mean, yeah, I mean...
A reminder, Ryan Reynolds had to fight both him and 3 mutant Chihuahua dogs. Like poodles.
Well, Dwibs, it's all about the game, after all.
Yeah.
And are you playing? Because the game got played.
Thankfully, Triple H remembered, better at wrestling.
Well, okay. Well, as was said, to be fair, he kind of got a better deal with Blade Trinity because at the very least he got to ham it up overall, and Lord knows he did better there than Ronda Rousey did in Furious 7.
Yeah, here's the thing. People still want Ronda Rousey to be in things, even though she's a terrible actress.
I don't even get
I mean,
why.
that's the thing though. When she was, for the most part, in Furious 7, she was fine as the silent heavy.
It's
But
fun.
then she actually started talking.
Yeah. I can pinpoint exactly the moment where Dwebs cringed when she started talking in that movie.
All right. Would you guys believe me if I told you that I did not know who Ronda Rousey was when I first saw that movie?
Oh, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, to be fair, okay, I hear she has a good showman personality, but she strikes me as that kind of person who you wouldn't recognize unless you absolutely knew who she was, which, yeah, you could probably say that for most people, but her in particular, something about her seems, well...
Well, I'm also bad at celebrities, so...
Well, okay, let's be fair, Dej. You recognize who someone like Beyonce or Jada Pinkett Smith or Will Smith would be.
Yeah, well, that's normie.
But yeah, okay, Ronda Rousey. She strikes me as this person who does have potential, just not when it comes to actually needing to act. It's ironic. I guess she's good at wrestling acting, but every other kind of acting she's tried at, as far as I'm concerned, she has failed horribly.
Look at her Mortal Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat 11, Fast and Furious 7, and God, I feel like there was something
Alright,
else.
now it's actually the last major air movement power-up that we're getting. The launch pad, actually. This is basically very similar to Strider's catapult. In fact, Strider 2014 as a move, it's very similar to this. Basically, when you're seeing these glowing circles, you just reach into them and just press the X button plus one of the directional cross in order to launch yourself into that direction. There we go, like so. And basically, taking advantage of these, you can move to different heights and degree. Again, your actual map of the level helps you understanding which nooks and crannies you probably haven't explored because of this.
I love how this place is called the Haunted Hills, yet we don't really see ghosts.
It's mostly because, one of the new enemy types introduced is these fishes who are annoying because they change constantly their color, meaning that you have to adapt very quickly towards that.
Oh, and they're supposed to be the ghosts.
I guess. Go on, Peter, in the meantime.
You guys were talking about the woman that plays Sonya in Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Yes.
Ronda Rousey,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. The actress being a terrible person aside.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of us to address that.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it, but...
I'm trying to make a point about despite that, though. I still think she technically did well in the role itself, personally. But, I mean, I don't know,
she's just so bland.
She literally sounds like she's reading from the script.
Honestly, Dibs, I don't really see that much difference from the way the actresses from 9 and 10 act.
Which brings me instead to my point. I worry to understand why the lack of consistency. Okay, probably because only for the sake of having star power, and probably Warner Bros. Saying get a celebrity for this role because it will boost in the marketing and everything. But it feels more like a waste. Like I said, if you have a voice actor for a particular role, might as well stay consistent to that.
Exactly.
Patrick's when MK11 was announced, Patrick Size was kind of distraught by the fact that he knew from that he was not going to voice Scorpion anymore, which is kind of a shame.
When it comes to Mortal Kombat 11, okay, when it comes to changing voice actors in general, I say this. Only change them if they're absolutely terrible. They turn out to be terrible people, so yes, by all means, get rid of them.
Or if they're unavailable and you can't get.
Yes.
Or, like they're dead. But that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jova, can you imagine in like 5-10 years' time, even that will stop being a reason?
Well,
Probably.
it might be sooner
for
than you.
Twitter, I mean.
It might be sooner than you expected, Waves. There's an actual website called, I think it's called a 15.io, which is an actual AI that is programmed to register some particular type of voice and noises and actually construct an artificial type of voice that can be used based on that.
Boy.
And it has been mildly successful so far with stuff, for example, like the entire cast of Team Fortress 2, meaning that despite Rick Mayne being passed away, people have been managing to construct lines from his voice sample from Team Fortress 2, for example.
Wow.
It'd be like that joke in Captain Scarlet, where Captain Scarlet was dead, and Colonel White was ranting about how he's going to punish him, and then the other guy was like, "But sir, he's dead." That's no excuse.
Mind you, the difference...
Except you'd remove all humour from it.
Mind you, the difference is noticeable compared to, say, a genuine article of a voice clip, but for being a first of its kind, it's scarily way ahead of a curve. So it's only a matter of time to see where this will take us.
That actually just makes me wonder, like, well, if that sort of technology was used, would the machine be credited, or would the actor be credited?
That's the thing, Java. It's exactly the same as having a CGI actor based on a dead actor like we did for, say, General Tarkin for Rogue One.
Yeah, on the subject of 11, it wasn't even just Sonya that...
no, like I said, Patrick Size was replaced by someone else.
Even her and Johnny Cage's daughter got recast, because in 10 she was voiced by Ashley Birch, but... I don't know what happened with 11. She's voiced by Futaba from Persona 5.
To be fair, the actor for 11 actually does have a more believable Asian accent than the previous one.
But okay.
Which is because neither of them are Asian as far as...
Because Anso is Japanese.
So Pedro, Dwibs was talking about Cassie.
Oh, it was? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I was just putting to your comment about Scorpion, though.
No, true, but Dwibs had moved on from that.
But when it comes to Sonya, though, well, okay, yeah, I get it. Maybe you could argue that 9 and 10 feels bad. I personally disagree. I like those better than Ronda Rousey's take. But it's like this. If you're gonna move on to somebody different, it should be someone who's noticeably better. Ronda Rousey.
God, Jova, do you remember the rumors that Ronda Rousey was going to play She-Hulk in the MCU show?
Yes.
I still hope till the last that Lucy Lawless was going to be played here, but alas.
Isn't Lucy Lawless a bit,
She's a bit older, I guess, but I still believe she can pull that off.
She definitely could.
I don't know.
She definitely could.
Besides, she already is technically a character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I forgot which specific one.
Not that stopped actors and actresses from being...
no, Mahershala Ali was in the Luke Cage series and he's supposed to be the new Blade anyway. So.
Hey guys, remember how Wonder Woman from that god-awful pilot ended up being Bobby in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Remember how Pedro Pascal was in the Wonder Woman pilot and he wound up in Wonder Woman 84?
We still have to get back to eventually doing a commentary of the Wonder Woman pilot.
I've never seen it.
You're not missing much,
well,
right? Except from an iconic line, "Pants to be dark."
Oh no! the Wonder Woman pilot is kind of amazing in how terrible it
Wonder
is.
Woman is a complete maniac in that.
Exactly, and she's
And it's not even an entertaining kind of maniac.
Well, look at this with it. At least she doesn't rape anybody. So there's that.
Hey, you want to know what's sad? The canceled Wonder Woman pilot acknowledges Wonder Woman's actual crimes more than Wonder Woman 1984 did.
How sad is that?
But also, I don't think the Wonder Woman failed pilot actually got any kind of labeling representation during the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. And mind you, that one, like I said, cannibalized pretty much every single possible DC live-action property.
Even Titans, the show no one likes.
Again, Dej, even the Birds of Prey early 2000 series, but nobody saw.
Which may remind you, also had Harley Quinn as the villain back then.
But regardless, no, that's the thing, Taylor. I was just trying to, at the very least, make the point that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Patrick Swayze as well. But to his credit, the actor that plays Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 11 does sound appropriate in terms of Anzo's nationality.
That is true, but like I said again, that's one type of inconsistency that feels more unnecessary than anything. Sure, it still works out in the end, but at the end of the day, why though? Like, that's the question that gets to be asked for a situation like that.
Well, here's the thing, Teo. A lot of here's the thing. Some people don't typically mention this, but there are times voice actors aren't always replaced. I mean, yes, a lot of times it happens because of stuff like the celebrity stuff, like you said, Teo. But there are times where they get replaced for whatever possible reasons they had, where they were the developers change their mind about certain decisions they've made or something like that. Sometimes there are decisions that are just made without any necessary analysis because they think, oh, we found an actor that we think is actually better for the role than the previous one, so we'll just regard. There are occasions where that does happen.
I'm not.
Kojima actually explained that he wanted to get someone that sounded. That's the thing, Deji. You know what's interesting, Deji, speaking about that? I was one of the ones that even back in 2004 when MGS3 came out, I was never okay with David Hayter voicing Big Boss to begin with. So that actually worked out just fine for me because it creates now that too is one case where it creates a level of.
Let
me finish. It creates a level of inconsistency with how the universe works because Solidus is not voiced by David Hayter. Why the hell is Big Boss voiced by David Hayter?
Well,
because he's the perfect.
If anything, the voice actor that voiced Solidus should have been the one.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Sorry.
There's nothing saying that all the clones have to have the same voice here and there. And like Dej mentioned, Snake was more of a perfect clone, so it makes sense that he would be a lot more similar to how...
Actually, no. Solidus is the one that's established to be the perfect clone.
I thought Liquid was.
Okay. Solidus... Here's the thing. The story is claiming that Solidus is the perfect one, but if anything, the events prove that Snake is the one who was the best, especially seeing as how, Metal Gear Solid 4 pretty much has Big Boss giving him that seal of approval. That being said, there was nothing saying that they all had to have the same voice anyway here and there. Like, honestly, David Hayter voicing Big Boss does not cause any inconsistency. It's just them bringing back...
I understand
here's the
Pedro's logic, though, so I don't
Can I
disagree with
finish?
him. Yes, of course.
But, okay, yeah. I mean, it was them bringing back a beloved voice actor, and he did fine enough here and there. And I will say this.
That's the thing. Go ahead.
While I do get the reasoning behind the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing, it was pretty BS how it went down between the both of them. Both have their own faults here and there, especially seeing as how it does also address the long-running issue of how a lot of voice actors do not always get proper respect here and there in regards to stuff here and there. Especially with how it was
That's the entire
handled.
reason behind their strike and wanting to be unionized.
Well, I mean, it's like I said before, there were a couple of things that they wanted as a result of that strike that I didn't really agree with, but for most of them I can understand.
Although to give credit to David Hayter, in recent years he actually has taken back the stuff he said, and he says that he's fine with it.
It also helps that Konami actually kept him for actual appearances of Solid Snake in other crossovers.
That too, yeah.
Sure.
Wow. The one time where Konami actually did something better than Kojima.
Let me put it like this. I just feel like Kojima should have at least handled telling Hater a lot better for him, because that's the thing. Hater wasn't even properly informed that he wouldn't be voicing Snake from Metal Gear Solid 5. It was just Kojima going...
So it's like Ryan Drummond when it comes to Sonic.
Or Troy Baker when he came to Vesperia, Days of Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Oh god, I keep
Or
forgetting that.
Remember, for all the stuff that he has done in recent years, Troy Baker has expressed multiple times that he actually liked the role of Yuri Lowenthal. Sorry, fuck me. Guys, hold on.
Spider-Man.
That's the
Superman.
problem. The character in Tales of Vesperia is actually called Yuri Lowell, so it's very
I will say
easy
this. I will
to
say
actually
this.
get confused.
Okay, honest question.
God, he is.
But to be on point,
Oh wait, honest question. Did they make that character in mind for Yuri Lowenthal to voice him? Because the name is...
not really.
It would have been the fact that they
Jova.
didn't cast Yuri Lowenthal as him was a missed opportunity, though.
Jova, you played Project Rozone 2, so you have an idea how it sounds like in Japanese, which is nothing like Troy Baker, mind you. It's a completely different type of voice set. But to be on point, Troy Baker has been expressed in recent times even how he's still affectionated to the role, because it was one of the early ones, and it's from a game that he actually likes. I know that, I still have to try Vesperia for myself before actually saying if I like it or not, but it seems that it's generally well favored. So I get the idea why would I want it to reprise the role, but I get the idea that Bandai Namco simply thought, oh, it might be too expensive. For these couple of lines, let's replace him with Grant George since he's more affordable.
Why didn't they just get Matthew Mercer as the standard?
No idea.
Well,
No
maybe they thought he was
because
too
he's
expensive too.
Probably because he's cheaper, yeah.
Hell, how is
like-
he expensive? All he voices is McCree.
Like, I don't think,
So I can,
mind you, I don't think Grant George is a bad voice actor, mind you. I just think the difference is not so. But go out there.
I just so I can properly finish. That's the thing, Jova. Yeah, you can say that, but at the same time, okay, so he voices Big Boss in 3, but he doesn't voice him in 4 now. See, my problem is exactly that. It
Well,
creates
okay.
this kind of inconsistency.
Well, here's the thing though. Big Boss is older by the time of Gears of War. I mean,
Exactly
sorry, Metal
my
Gear
point,
Solid
though.
4. Well, okay.
Okay, but David Hayter can do an old man's voice, as he proves in that
Was
same
that
game.
a decision from Kojima or Hater himself or the director?
That actually is a good point. Like, I guess
Let me explain though, because actually I needed to explain. One of the big reasons why actually, because Metal Gear Solid 3's conception was actually influenced by the reception to 2 at the time back in 2001.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't like not playing as Snake, and that's why he intentionally went out of his way to make not only young Big Boss look like Snake, but even have David Hayter voice him as a way to address the backlash that 2 had back then. Now no more, but back then 2001 it did have backlash.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That.
Like TOS, was it Kojima's... Okay, was all the voice acting stuff in Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 4 Kojima's decision regarding the David Hayter stuff and whatnot?
I don't know. I don't have any evidence to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, so I don't know.
Okay. So,
Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments can say.
for the sake of simplicity, let's assume that was all Kojima's decision here and there. Like, Kojima's a weird guy. He can change his mind on the fly here and there. So, regarding
Sure.
story-wise here, I think it's easy to assume that when he was young and, looked exactly like Solid Snake, that Big Boss would sound like David Hayter at that point in time here and there. And if there's one thing we've established, though, is like, well, Solid Snake just happens to be the clone who developed the most like Big Boss. He may not be the best clone according to the lore, but he's definitely the one who ended up the most akin to Big Boss in looks, mannerisms, and whatnot. Hence why, Liquid doesn't sound as similar, why Solidus doesn't sound as similar. That being said, though, because Solid Snake developed differently, you know, with the rapid aging and all that,
Yeah.
I suppose that would explain the slight differences by the time of Gear. Why do I keep mistaking this? Why do I keep mistaking it with Gears? I mean,
Do the acronym, Jova,
Metal
MGS.
Gear.
It's actually more
MGS.
it's actually easy to do.
You
Heck.
burnt yourself out with War 5.
well, you know,
Alright.
you know. Honestly, though, I would not mind a crossover between Metal Gear and Gears of War.
I personally would have preferred if Kojima had stuck to his guns in 3 instead of doing that too. But I understand what he did. Wait, don't get me wrong. I just wish he would have, because I personally would have preferred going with the original plan. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Hold on. So having him be voiced by a different person was the original plan?
Well, I don't have all the information, Joe, because, you know, it's not like there's a documentary explaining this. But it has been confirmed that one of the big reasons young Big Boss is the way he is in 3 is because of the backlash to 2. Yeah.
Well, okay. I get that, but I mean, well, it doesn't seem like there's anything suggesting that Kojima didn't want to have David Hayter voice young Big Boss anyway.
Mind you, Jova, I get the idea that even back then Kojima wanted some kind of star power for his games, but simply couldn't for one reason or the other. Maybe his games were already too expensive for Konami's taste, so we're like keep the voice acting to a minimum.
That
something
is,
like that.
yes, the
Not
one
to
for
men-
star power. That has always been an ickle thing. But okay, look, I'll just say this right now. I honestly think that there wouldn't have been nearly as much problems or backlash from David Hayter and the fans regarding Metal Gear Solid 5 if Kojima had just handled it better. Like, that is definitely
Sure,
one
sure.
recurring issue with the man here. He does not always handle this build-up stuff well, or, you know, communication well. Like, the man does have his flaws with being a team player here. and
Much
there.
like, well, it's the thing, Jova. I get the idea that much like Sean from Hello Games, he's more a person that works better behind a keyboard or, you know, near a drawing board instructing others, rather than being in front of a mic for an interview.
That too.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's also. I will also say that I actually really like Kiefer Sutherland in the role because he really gives that kind of voice that I expect of a late 40s, early 50s Big Boss actually. So I actually really appreciated because Kiefer Sutherland did a great job still, regardless. So and both David and Kiefer have even made amends and even posted their own personal together selfies on social media and everything. So it's they're cool at this point.
Oh yeah. Look, let me make things clear. I did not hate for Sutherland's performance in that. No, I liked it. I will just not deny that the whole way the thing was handled initially did leave a bad taste in people's mouths. You're like, you would be amazed.
David Hayter in Death Stranding.
No.
No. Basically, for Death Stranding, Kojima got all of his close circle of friends like Guillermo del Toro,
Norman Reedus, Mike Mikkelsen,
Mads Mikkelsen, yeah.
Hannibal, there you go.
Kingley.
I'm sorry, what?
Jeff Kingley.
Well, not just
Jeff
Conan
Keighley, yeah.
O'Brien is in it. For the
Jeff actually does make a cameo as one of the people that you can find in
Is it Sakurai in the game?
No.
Oh.
It's actually a really fun video though because you can check if I remember correctly, it's in Team Coco's YouTube channel. You can see it because Kojima was actually Conan actually went to Kojima Productions to visit. And Kojima showed them around and everything, and showed them the trailer that was going on at the time. And he asked him, "So do you want to be in the game?" Wait, I can be in the game? Yeah, we have a 3D scanner right there. So they actually scanned Conan O'Brien right there and then, and have him show up as one of the many citizens.
Well, of
If I
course.
recall correctly,
He was also in Young Justice as a gag.
if I recall correctly, there's also one of these kind of minor roles for people who you give your packages to. Is also one with the likeness of Junji Ito.
Yeah, and Armin Holst, the head of Guerrilla Games.
And of
'Cause
course-
remember, Guerrilla Games was.
You
very
also
expensive
get,
for-
you also get, if I recall correctly, as an Easter egg, one of the scanning images of one of the Ubisoft Tower-esque robo dinosaur that you get in the first Horizon. I call him that because of its function. Especially resembles a Brontosaurus, but he has like a saucer-esque head, and you have to scale it up. And once Alloy gets control of it, your map gets updated for that area. So it has the same function.
Was it confirmed
this-
that?
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Was it confirmed that Kojima is working on this next game with his BFF Guillermo del Toro, who was also
We
in
don't know.
Death
We know that
Stranding?
he's working on something, and we know that the
Yoshi Shinkawa did say recently, Jova, that they should be announcing their new game soon. He said soon.
Maybe at E3 Digital Edition.
Probably. At
Nah,
this point.
Jeff Keighley's Summer of Gaming.
Keighley is Kojima's bestie, so
yeah,
that's
it's
why
his number one
since
groupie.
E3 is dead.
Anyway, no. Like I said before too, it's one of those cases where personally, I will. Again, this is just me personally, of course. Like for me personally too, and now you've played it, so I can at the very least give you that idea. Personally, to me too, Berseria did everything much better than what Berseria was trying to do. If you ask me.
Oh, I can imagine, considering I also liked, you know that the first Zelia is my favorite PS3 game. So
And don't get me wrong. And, sorry, let me ask. Have you played? I know you played Abyss on the 3DS, if I remember correctly.
well, actually, I'll tell you later because now we're actually getting the boss fight, and the prize goes to Dej because it's time to get to an actual dragon.
Yeah! You can't have a game like this and not have a dragon.
Specifically, Eastern type of dragon, you know, the long boys. Now, the first phase is more of a Crash Bandicoot-esque chase sequence where you have to run away while the snake fires from one of his orbs. Let's just say that.
His laser piss.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Oh no, it's Serpentera.
Oh, that too.
And essentially, you have to keep running away until you reach a safe spot. After that, you will be able to actually start to having a fighting chance.
It's better Serpentera
Like I
than
said, this is,
Mechanica.
at least for me, this is actually the most challenging of the bosses, because you have to repeat this kind of chase sequence all the time, every time you die, and you have to basically perfect this kind of thing. And mind you, like you said, there is a
No
brief spot
checkpoints.
like that, yeah, and there are no checkpoints. Again, that's inherently the only major flaws in terms of the difficulty curve, but that is something that could be potentially easily fixed, and it's something that even the developers regretted. So again, I'm not giving them too much of a hard time for that. Besides, I'm always also up for a challenge, for an extra bit of challenge, so why not? Also, thankfully, if you actually die in the bottomless pit here, you actually respawn, so you don't die immediately.
Yeah, if that was any other platformer, you would have been dead. And the Smash Bros. Failure.
In fact, this
you failed.
yeah, kind of like that. Also, this is also another type of sequence slash boss that the Strider 2014 will take inspiration for. Interestingly enough, for its version of the Ouroboros. And you get this platform that makes you go into the sky for some reason.
I like how there's a white flash
They're just a
between the
big
red
metal
and
castle in
blue.
the sky.
Well,
Nice.
And after
You
that,
know the
you get
drill.
onto. There you go. Now that you're on the actual, back on the snake, what you're supposed to do is to use the ground stomp maneuver, if I recall correctly, yeah, on the fleshy beats, the actual colored beats that are on his back. There you go, like so. So if there's a blue, use the red color. Avoid the floating mines, which as you keep damaging will progress, will keep showing up in a higher quantity, and you'll be good to go. There you go. Again, like I said, challenging, but these boss fights are still immensely fun for how you actually handle the type of gameplay that you're dealt with. Well, again, it's pretty neat.
definitely.
And again, the music
dive.
that accompanies the music, yeah. Well, Jova, it cannot be cancelled into another full dive, so
Then what's the point?
but no, again, in the music that accompanies it is also pretty good. Again, this package is little, but still pretty neat in how it's constructed. Anyway, go on, Pedro.
If I remember correctly, you played the bits on the 3DS, right?
Still, yes. Sadly, I haven't finished it technically, but maybe I will do it someday. Unless Banco decides to move their lazy ass and actually re-release the game at some point. Mind you, they made a sales figure about the Tales of franchise recently, and Abyss was like very low. Apparently, people in Europe bought more Zestiria than anything. Hooray! Anyway, let's hear the history about the dragon. The winged serpent.
The winged serpent taught mankind the secrets of the gods.
Is this a Soul Calibur announcement?
Life were his
No.
gifts.
Leaves mention it. It's a voice actor that voiced also Jarvis in the Iron Man 2 video game.
So basically, the thing with the winged serpent was like, well, he was very loving to everyone, but this unfortunately made him angered when the sisters were sealed, despite, the reason they were sealed.
And yeah, to be fair, since it's not relatively Asian inspired, but instead it's more based on Quetzalcoatl, so yeah, that makes sense. All right. Tune in next time for the actual conclusion of the game, where we travel to the sisters and try to, prevent the resurrection. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.